Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We are live in Abuja. I'm Chinenwe. Do not forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media handles displayed on your screen for update. Nigeria is set to launch its nationwide digital switchover DSO on June 17, 2026, marking the final transition from analog to digital broadcasting. This initiative promises over 100 free-to-air, high-definition television channels, leveraging satellite technology to ensure nationwide coverage. The new platform is expected to transform broadcasting, advertising, and television viewership across Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa. It will introduce audience measurement technology capable of tracking viewing patterns in real time, thereby enabling advertisers to make informed decisions. It will also encourage the increased local content production, improve service delivery, and expand access to free-to-air television services nationwide. To discuss the digital switchover during the course of the news, we are joined by the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Charles Ebuebu. Okay. Now, sir, President Bola Tinubu's economic and investment drive is set to receive a further boost as an international port operator, APM Terminals, pledged a $600 million investment in Nigeria's maritime sector. The leadership of the company indicated their intent when they met with President Tinubu in Kigali. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports that the president also engaged President Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea, as well as the leadership of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, on the sidelines of the Africa CEO Forum in the Rwandan capital.
As captains of industry and leaders of international financial organizations converged on Kigali, President Tinubu has also been engaging with many of them on the margins of the Africa CEO Forum. Regional presidents of APM Terminals, Igor van den Essen, led other executives to meet with President Tinubu and lauded the Nigerian leader's reforms and policy directions, which he acknowledged as further strengthened his confidence and created renewed momentum for long-term infrastructure investments. They indicated investment interest in Apapa Seaport modernization, logistics infrastructure, and long-term private sector investments in Nigeria's maritime sector. President Tinubu welcomed the investments, emphasizing that Nigeria is repositioning itself for greater competitiveness through ongoing economic reforms and infrastructure modernization.
The APM, they are already in Nigeria. They have an agreement and contract to be there till 2031, but at that meeting they announced they're interested in investing another $600 million, and that was a very important meeting.
We've seen today, part of the engagement is potential investment in ports, development, in mining, like I said, other solid minerals, private enterprise, and so on and so forth. So really it has been very, very good.
The Managing Director of International Finance Corporation, IFC, Diop Mokhtar, also led his team to discuss with President Tinubu on modalities for collaboration with Nigeria in energy, housing, and livestock production. The organization proposes to immediately send a team to Nigeria to explore scalable investment structures that could unlock private capital into the sector. President Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea also visited President Tinubu, where both leaders discussed the possible areas of collaboration between both countries.
It was quite interesting that there's a lot the two countries can do together. Mr. President commended the President of Guinea for not withdrawing from ECOWAS when the pressure was much on him to do that. He was thinking about the vision for ECOWAS is something you could relate with rather than something that was put together in a hurry. And I think there's also a lot that the two countries can do together in the area of development. Some of it is to do with iron ore. And the partnership is, we're stronger together.
He's indebted to our president. He got some very good advice, and very soon he will be visiting on the invitation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's likely to visit Nigeria. But, Guinea has a lot of potentials, metals, earth minerals, etc. So the horizon for partnership between Nigeria and Guinea has been opened. The possibilities are great, and I'm sure that we will see that develop in the days and in the years ahead.
In another meeting with Winmim Group executives, President Tinubu called for deeper investment partnerships to unlock Nigeria's opportunities in logistics, mining, shipping, and integrated infrastructure development. From Kigali, Musbah, then Wahab, NT News.
The federal government of Nigeria has fixed June 17, 2026 as the date for the official launch of digital switchover, DSO, that is, the migration from analog to digital signals in Nigeria. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria is set to play major impact in global digital economy in line with the agenda of the renewed hope. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Better late than never. This best described Nigeria's journey to digital switchover, DSO, haven't skipped the original 2015 global migration deadline. Despite the delays and technical challenges, the renewed commitment by the current administration has paved the way towards achieving improved television broadcasting quality, increased digital broadcasting coverage, growth in local content production, as well as better utilization of broadcast spectrum.
We're all over Nigeria and beyond. And now we are updating the list of channels. We're going to have 100 channels by the day of launch, and even more, because more content producers are talking to us.
It's important that for us the service is reliable. It is important for us that the service delivery is perfect and the technology is continuous.
As the coordinator of digital switchover, the Minister of Information and National Orientation inspected digital facilities at the Direct-to-Home Center at the Nigerian Communications Satellite premises, alongside heads of agencies that are driving the process.
For many years, Nigerians have been grappling with this idea of the DSO, the digital switchover. In other words, moving our transmissions from the analog to the digital. Now this has happened and is ready to be commissioned by the 17th of June this year. We've gone around the facilities. We have already seen that many of the channels have already been unbundled here. This is going to bring a lot of advantages to all the broadcasters, the viewers, and everybody, the advertisers. The collaboration between NICOMSAT and NBC, and the bigger collaboration between the Ministry of Communication and the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is making this to happen. And we thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for providing all the resources that we require for us to deliver this to Nigeria.
June 17, 2026, Nigerian Communications Satellite will deliver improved picture and sound quality, increase the number of television channels, promote local television content, and create more jobs in broadcasting and technology to boost economic growth through digital economy. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Now with me in the studio to speak more on the official launch of the digital switchover is the Director General, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Ebuebu. Many thanks for joining us on the news.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think I should begin by saying congratulations on this milestone. Now, with a date now set for Nigeria's digital switchover, what should Nigerians expect in terms of implementation and immediate impact?
Okay, so even as of today, as we speak, before the official launch, we have 43 channels across the nation, which is going to grow up to 100 on the day of launch. And what Nigerians are going to see is a genre of channels cutting across education, Nollywood, general entertainment, comedy, and curated channels across the major languages in the country. So we're providing a robust list of channels, that will provide entertainment, education, and enlightenment. And Nigerians will be, no matter where you are located in Nigeria, you'll be able to see channels, that resonate with your culture and education, and as well as your realities of the lifestyle. Yes.
Now, the digital switchover process has experienced several delays in the past. What concrete steps have been taken to ensure the successful realization of this breakthrough in Nigeria's media landscape?
Okay, so long before we even, this went public, we have been working behind the scenes to ensure, that there's sustainability and continuation, in all of what we have been doing. We have been engaging stakeholders. We have set milestones. We have a consultant of repute who is guiding the links between each stakeholder. And every stakeholder has been made to understand that your failure impacts on the next. So there's a hand-holding on all sides, whether it has to do with channels, whether it has to do with technical side. We're talking to Nigecomsat. They have put in a lot of robust equipment on ground with redundancies. We're going to have a national call center to coordinate. And, in the past, most of what we had as challenges, there wasn't major publicity and awareness concerning the DSO. As we speak, that is being coordinated across social media, across television, radio, and even billboards located in the 6 geopolitical regions. So we're following this as project managers, if you will, to oversee a total coordination to ensure, there is continuity and to avoid failure.
Okay, talking about continuity now, how can Nigeria ensure that the long-term sustainability of the digital switchover, particularly in promoting local content development and strengthening the creative industry?
Okay, so one of the things we have put in place very strict mandates, if you will, to content producers. They must ensure at least 60% is the basic minimum of local content. We are promoting Nigeria for Nigeria. The platform, if you will, you could say it's a platform for Nigerians, where we have a distribution model that gives visibility to our creativity, our talents, our young ones. Before now, what most of our younger ones do is put their content on YouTube and all of the rest. But right now, we've provided a platform where we invite them to create that same content for television. Secondly, we have been in long engagement with Nigecomsat. We have seen the facilities they've put in terms of satellite services, ground services, and they have put in redundancies to ensure there is no there's no sustained breakdown in the platform. We have also ensured we've signed SLAs with them, as well as to have a satellite which they could fall back to in case there's an issue with the existing one. So what we have brought into place is a technical robustness, if you will, and the content side, stakeholder management, we're coordinating all of that to ensure that we have a sustainable platform going forward.
Okay, now let's talk about affordability and accessibility of this digital switchover. How accessible and affordable will it be to Nigerians, especially those in rural and underserved communities?
Okay, so let me talk about the funding given by President Ahmed Tinubu, being a media practitioner himself with foresight. He has given us funding, and what we have done, after looking at all the issues and challenges that stalled the switchover, we have provided an 18-month window where we build the marketplace, if you will. As we speak, like I said, we have 43 channels and it's growing. And don't forget, we also have the application. So right now, if you have your phone, all you need to do is go on Play Store, for example, and download free TV. And you can see the channels we're putting. You can watch it live, So we're creating a free platform. Nobody is going to pay for subscription or anything. We're putting that, and it's going to be on for the free-to-air channels. It's going to be on free. We're not going to charge anything. So all you need to do is either you go by way of your phone or you get a basic decoder. Some of us have decoders at home, and if you all you need to do is pan your dish to the right to the Nigecomsat satellite, and you have access. And that's what we're doing. Anywhere in this country, your village, your city, wherever you are, you can have access to the. We're building one distribution channel for Nigerians. If you will, back in the days, NTA, with all the reach it has, all you needed to do was bring your content and you have visibility everywhere. That's what we're doing, and we're creating that, you know, platform where Nigerian creative industry can monetize their content, you know, get revenue and, you know, generate more content that has resonance, not only within Nigeria, but globally, if you will.
Okay, before I let you go, DJ sir, let me now ask, what strategies are in place to drive public awareness and educate citizens on how to transition smoothly from this analog to the digital television? Okay, so again, what wasn't in existence previously was a coordinated and, you know, strategic public awareness and publicity around this, you know. So what we have done, we have engaged experts who right now, as we speak, we have the jingles running in the the 3 major languages, as well as English and Pidgin, on 36 radio stations. We have the same running on TV stations around the country, on social media, X handle, you know, other platforms. We have massive, you know, going out on the same, using the same 3 major languages, Pidgin and English. And I will tell you, for example, we have been receiving significant impact from that. For example, as at yesterday, 59,000 users have downloaded the app alone. And, you know, we brought in technology where we have audience measurement provided by First Media, and also on the app where we're able to extract data that shows us who is watching, what are the content they're watching. So we're bringing value back to the industry. We're creating, you know, a competitive economy where the creative can thrive, and we're setting right all the things we didn't have in place to have a vibrant, you know, global ecosystem that will go global, if you will. Okay, we would like to thank you, the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Ebuebu, for sharing your thoughts with us on the news.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now, Nigeria is undergoing a critical economic transformation that requires visionary leadership, political courage, and strategic reforms capable of repositioning the country for long-term prosperity and industrial growth. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, stated this at the maiden edition of the Solid Minerals Excellence Awards in Abuja. Alake noted that the administration of President Bola Tinubu remains committed to implementing difficult but necessary reforms aimed at overcoming economic instability, weak institutions, and commended stakeholders for complying with regulations in the industry.
Ensuring environmental compliance, paying your royalties, your taxes, beneficiating the community, the host communities, and adding local value through processing. Others will begin to emulate you. I congratulate you, and I thank you for meeting all these obligations and for being the worthy examples.
This recognition will have several multiplier effects. It will attract investors into this country who want partners with proven, credible players.
Recognize excellence, leadership, innovation, and outstanding contributions to the growth and sustainability of the nation's solid minerals sector. The federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria are intensifying efforts to deepen Nigeria's foreign exchange market with a target of achieving 1 billion naira in daily Forex transactions as part of broader reforms aimed at improving liquidity, transparency, and investor confidence in the economy. Musa Abubakar reports that they disclosed this at the launch of the 4th edition of the Central Bank of Nigeria Foreign Exchange Manual in Abuja.
Unveiling of the 4th edition of the Forex Manual by the Central Bank of Nigeria marks another major step in efforts to strengthen transparency and accountability in Nigeria's foreign exchange market. Under the theme, Building Confidence in Nigeria's FX Market, the revised framework provides updated operational guidelines for authorized dealers and market participants while promoting ethical standards and compliance in foreign exchange transactions.
So we took a lot of time to talk, to consult, and to ensure that all the different concerns and pain points were adequately reflected.
The revised manual allows ongoing reforms aimed at improving liquidity, ensuring market discipline, and boosting investor confidence in the nation's forex market.
The revised manual reflects operational realities, addresses practical challenges faced by market participants.
Predictability and policy consistency are essential for growth, investment, and economic planning.
Stakeholders believe the initiative will further support exchange rate stability. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
In a renewed push ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Miyetti Allah Pulaku Yeso Development Association has endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term in office. The association made its position known during an interactive session with the Minister of Livestock Development in Abuja, where it commended the Tinubu administration for what it described as far-reaching reforms in governance, policy direction, economic management, and societal transformation. Yusuf Jika reports.
As momentum builds ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Miyetti Allah Pulaku Yeso Development Association has aligned itself with the renewed Hope administration, saying the government's policies have given pastoralists a stronger sense of inclusion and improved their socio-economic well-being. President of the association, Abubakar Suleiman, commended President Tinubu for creating the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, describing it as a bold step towards transforming the livestock industry and addressing the long-standing challenges of farmer-herder clashes.
Our members nationwide has gotten their PVCs to support your re-election for the second time coming to 27.
Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, says the ministry is driving reforms aimed at moving the livestock sector from traditional practices to a modern, resilient, sustainable, and globally competitive industry.
Pastoralists from over the country have seen beyond the emotions to make themselves available to align themselves with the President's vision for national ranching policy. So we've had this engagement with them, and we have asked for a database of their membership.
You're also poised to promote peace, which is one of the key pillars in our plan as a ministry.
He noted that the reforms are part of deliberate efforts by the president to strengthen the capacity of livestock farmers, boost productivity, enhance food security, and contribute to Nigeria's broader economic transformation agenda. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika.
Eligible residents of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, say the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise is smooth and stress-free. Precious Aripo visited the voter registration unit in Port Harcourt for an update on the current exercise.
At some of the registration centers visited, residents were seen going through the registration process to update their voter information. Some residents who have updated their records expressed satisfaction with the exercise, noting that the process was orderly.
It was smooth and easy. It went well. People feel it's a long process and like it's going to be crowded and all of that. So I'll advise them to go and get their voter's card. It's very easy, smooth. There was no challenge at all.
Everything's moving fine, no complaint. And they attended me very fine.
Voter's card is your power and it is your right for everything. As far as this forthcoming election is concerned, everybody needs to have his own.
You can make the change you want, you understand? So I urge people to come out and request for their voter's card.
Voter registration provides an opportunity for people to elect leaders of their choice and contribute to national development. Eligible residents are being encouraged to take advantage of the process to ensure their votes are represented ahead of future election. Precious Aripo, NTA News.
Lagos will be our first port of call on Nationwide, and Adejoke is standing by to bring us stories from that zone. Hello, Adejoke. It's over to you.
Hello, Chinenye, and welcome to Lagos. As Nigeria's digital space continues to expand, Concerns over cyber threats, online safety, and the protection of telecommunications infrastructure are becoming more pressing. To address these challenges, the Nigerian Communications Commission, in partnership with the National Judicial Institute, brought judicial officers together to examine evolving legal realities within the telecommunications sector.
While the judiciary's contribution...
The role of the judiciary in addressing challenges within Nigeria's fast-growing digital space has again been emphasized at a workshop with the theme Advancing the Digital Era. The judiciary's imperative in connectivity, infrastructure protection, and online safety. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, convened judges from different courts across the country and stakeholders in the telecommunications sector to discuss emerging issues around cybersecurity, infrastructure protection, and internet governance.
The issue of connectivity, in particular, extends beyond technological convenience. Access to reliable communication systems now affects economic participation, access to public services.
The Commission says Nigeria's digital economy continues to grow. However, this growth is being threatened by vandalism of telecom infrastructure and attacks on network facilities.
Every time we celebrate a milestone in the industry, that we have more sites, we have deeper penetration, as those things move, crime moves with it. So we also need justice to move at the speed of 5G.
The Commission is working closely with a host of stakeholders from security agencies and operators to intensify protection.
The collaboration between the NJI and the NCC highlights efforts to strengthen legal understanding and regulatory effectiveness in the communications sector. And away from that, families, the foundation of every society, are facing enormous pressures from economic hardship, unemployment, moral decline, drug abuse, social media influence, to increasing cases of domestic conflict. Despite these challenges, the family remains the first school of values, discipline and love and social responsibility. Hingino John Adams examines how Nigerian families can survive these difficult times, raise responsible children, and remain united in the face of growing social and economic pressures.
The family remains the first foundation of every society, shaping the values, behavior, and future of children and communities. Attention is now shifting to the importance of building stable homes and protecting family well-being. Rising inflation, unemployment, and increasing social pressure continue to place many families under financial and emotional strain.
Imagine a child going to school without textbook, a child going to school without biro, a child going to school without food. You know, those are the things that affect children in our community today.
There's a way you talk to your kids, they will know this is what is going on. For instance, you were rich before. Now, definitely, you are moving from 3-bedroom flat to a single room. You have to make them understand. They understand. It's when you don't make them understand, it will look as if what's going on.
You'd see instances where a teenager, a girl of 14, comes back home with a very expensive iPhone and the parents are mute.
Family and child development experts emphasize the importance of communication, parental responsibility, and community support in sustaining healthy family relationships.
It's good that parents are intentional. As families, we should be intentional with everything we are doing, because from the family unit, as little as it is, it goes to the society at large. So we should be intentional in impacting them positively, building those values that they need to thrive eventually.
Experts are reminding Nigerians that strong families remain essential to national peace, growth, and social stability. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. Nation.
Many thanks for staying on. As part of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for sustainable power supply, a newly constructed 330 kV transmission line linking Ihovo, Benin and Ihovo Ajokuta has been inaugurated at the Ihovo Transmission Substation in Edo State. Obehi Otobo reports.
The project strategically connects the existing Benin-Ajaokuta 330 kV transmission line to Ihobo Transmission Substation, creating 2 new transmission routes spanning 14 kilometers. Managing Director, Transmission Company of Nigeria, Sule Abdulaziz, said the completion of the project will boost operational flexibility and strengthen power delivery within the Benin corridor by linking directly to the power plant. He added that TCN can now evacuate power more efficiently from the Azura Power Plant and the Niger Delta Power Holding Company plant.
Our own job is to transmit the power from the generators to the load units. It is the responsibility of distribution companies now to distribute to customers. More industries will get light and also residential people.
The contractor and general manager of TCN's Benin region said the upgrade means power generated in Benin axis can now be wheeled seamlessly to any part of the country.
The double circuit line carrying twin Bison conductor will enable the additional evacuation of approximately 1.5 gigawatts of power from both the NIPP and Azura power plant into the national grid.
We in Benin region are inspired by your hand-on approach and promise to sustain the momentum.
Representative of the Enogi of Ihovo community, Elliot Imafidon, appealed to TCN to prioritize employment for members of the host community. The officials of TCN also urged residents to protect transmission installations and assist in the fight against vandalism to ensure uninterrupted power supply. In Benin, Obehi Otobo, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rejoices with the Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adebowale Adedokun, as he celebrates his 55th birthday. President Tinubu describes the celebrant as a seasoned administrator and procurement expert whose wealth of experience and commitment to institutional reforms have significantly improved public procurement standards and governance outcomes in the country. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the President prays for continued good health, wisdom and strength as the celebrant continues in service to the country. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Adedayo Benjamin Laniyi as the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Miriam Babangida National Center for Women Development and members of the Governing Council for an initial term of 4 years. In a letter signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, issued by the Permanent Secretary, General Services Office, Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, the appointment takes effect from April 18, 2026. President Tinubu also approved the constitution of the members of the Governing Council of the Center as follows: Princess Joanne Jume Idonije as chairman. Other members include Louise Alta, Jamila Saraki, Aisha Baye, Jumoke Koya Thomas, and Princess Anne Agom Eze. President Tinubu extended his best wishes to the new appointees. Arising from its National Executive Council meeting, the National Union of Teachers has appealed to the federal government to rescind its decision to waive UTME for students seeking admission into colleges of education. Addressing the media after the NEC meeting, President of the Union, Titus Audu Amba, believes that members were not carried along when the decision was taken. According to him, the action could be counterproductive as it could discourage applicants and make the teaching profession an all-commerce affair. He said, as bedrock for development, applying to study in colleges of education should be maintained and made highly competitive.
This singular act is not acceptable to us because As critical stakeholders, we were not consulted for us to be able to maybe share ideas and possibly see reason why government may decided to come up with such thinking. If in the first place the teaching profession is being made attractive, I don't want to believe that government will even begin to think of having waiver. Why didn't they have waivers for other courses? If you are going for any science courses, give waiver. I will say no to this very policy.
Audu Amba said improving the welfare and condition of service of teachers and the profession, like in the developed societies, is the only way that can make the profession lucrative and attractive in Nigeria. Reports by the World Health Organization says oral diseases affect nearly 3.5 billion people across the world, and Nigeria accounts for a significant number. Further research indicates that only a few Nigerians visit a dentist regularly. This report by Zainab Yakubu highlights the importance of dental care.
For many Nigerians, oral health begins and ends with toothbrushing, not knowing that there are many diseases which affect the mouth despite daily brushing.
I remember while in primary school, we are taught all this small hygiene of brushing twice before and after eating.
Always see your dentist, even when you don't have sign of pain.
Dr. Okachi Nnawihe says oral health is as important as general body health, stating that the mouth is the gateway to the entire body and regular checkup can save an individual from other diseases.
It is important when you are speaking, when you are chewing, when you are socializing, contributes to your facial beauty and helps you to carry out other activities that are essential to daily living.
He also advised people to drink water regularly in order to prevent cavity and gum diseases, adding that the government should implement the oral health policy into primary health care.
Besides the cleaning, we'll check each tooth to see if they have holes, if they are developing. Once we see that, we quickly fill them.
And joining us live from Jos to speak more on how oral health affects general well-being is Biokisi Nuhu. Hello, Biokisi. What more can you tell us?
Thank you, Chinenye, for joining us in Jos. Oral health care is said to be one of the major health concerns globally. Good oral health prevents tooth decay, gum disease, supports proper eating and digestion, and also improves speech and confidence. Poor oral hygiene is also linked to diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and even complications in pregnancy. Health experts say only a few Nigerians visit the dentist for regular checkup. Dentists are also advising that oral health is very important as the mouth plays a vital role in keeping the entire body healthy, and also regular checks can save many from other diseases. Key players also call on government to implement oral health care policy to primary health care and advise all to form the habit of drinking water regularly to prevent cavity and gum disease, visit the dentist at least twice a year, brush twice a day using a good toothbrush and good toothpaste, and also change your toothbrushes after every 3 months.
Many thanks, Biokisu, for that report. And from Jos, let's go to Enugu, where Chika Okorie is standing by to bring us the next set of reports on Nationwide. Hello, Chika, you're on.
To Enugu Network Center, while celebrating the resilience of women in healthcare delivery and sustenance of wellness, the Association of Lady Pharmacists, ALPS, has raised concerns over the challenges threatening healthcare delivery in Nigeria. The 17th biannual conference of the association holding in Enugu is spotlighting the state of medical infrastructure, issues of brain drain, drug abuse, and deliberating on the way out. Susan Eze has the details.
recognizing women as ones who play vital roles as caregivers, managers, and counselors in the chain of healthcare delivery. The theme of the conference, Women and Resilience, Sustaining Health and Wellness in Challenging Times, according to the organizers, resonates with the innate qualities in women that manifest in their health service delivery.
Women remain at the forefront of promoting health, inspiring hope, and sustaining wellness.
Lady pharmacists are not only medicine experts, but also strong advocates for public health in our communities.
Key stakeholders acknowledged the resilient spirit in women and therefore charged the lady pharmacists to utilize same in strengthening their commitment to professionalism and service to humanity.
Your presence here underscores the vital role of a woman in a pharmacy in a world where healthcare demands innovation and resilience.
The theme of this conference is timely and reflective of the critical roles women continue to play in strengthening families, communities, and healthcare systems.
According to the keynote speaker, Margaret Barley, health professionals must be intentional about health and wellness. The 17th Biannual Conference of Lady Pharmacists provided opportunities for shared learning and development of innovative strategies for tackling the evolving challenges in the current era of healthcare delivery. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And validation of the proposed National Regional Development Program to address structural imbalance, infrastructure, human capital, and economic opportunities across Nigeria's geopolitical zones has reverberated. This was at the instance of the Southeast Zonal Technical Validation Workshop for NRDP 2026 to 2030, organized by the Ministry of Regional Development in partnership with the UNDP. Grace Wilson Eze reports.
The workshop, which attracted stakeholders in the Southeast geopolitical zone, emphasized the need for effective synergy to revamp critical sectors of the economy, such as transport, energy, and digital infrastructure. To reinforce the commercial corridor connecting the entire Southeast states, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Regional Development, Mary Owe, harped on the need to return to regional system of government, operational in the 70s and 80s to bring development closer to the people.
Based on the mandate that's been given to us and in line with his renewed hope agenda, we're developing the policy. And from the policy, the different regional development commissions will draw their own roadmap, looking at their comparative advantage.
The Executive Director of Finance, Southeast Development Commission, called for collaboration with the Ministry of Regional Development in surmounting the challenges bedeviling the region.
Major outcome here is to facilitate growth, development, and institutional governance structures that will guide everything we are doing as a regional commission. So
outlining some of the lending support systems of the UNDP, representatives of the United Nations Development Program urged the zone to queue into its program for rapid development in the Southeast.
Our business is to support government in their development stride. And in that regard, the ministry had approached UNDP to give support, not only on the policy, but on other areas.
We are confident that the deliberations and recommendations from this workshop will contribute significantly to the successful implementation of the policy and the advancement of national development objectives.
The Enugu event is the first in a series of 6 zonal consultations aimed at refining the NRDP draft. In Enugu, Grace Wilson Eze, NTA News.
Our package from here, and right now as we observe another break, the news results.
Thank you, and thank you for adjusting for the news. Now it is Makudi's turn, and the Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has reaffirmed his commitment to serve the state and humanity to justify the trust bestowed on him. The governor, represented by his deputy Sam Ode, made the commitment at his 60th birthday symposium organized in his honor by the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Benue State Council. Elias Itiaf has details.
From the pulpit to public service, he has consistently demonstrated unwavering commitment to truth, justice, peace, and the welfare of the people.
The event provided a platform for reflective presentations by scholars and academics on leadership, service, and imperatives of human capital development in the state under the present administration of Governor Hyacinth Alia.
The Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alia, has become an institution of study.
Chairman of the NUJ Benue State Chapter, Bemdo Ugbe, said the event is to celebrate purposeful leadership as witnessed in the enduring legacies and visionary governance being experienced in the state.
The NUJ Benue State Council remains unwaveringly committed to professionalism, truth, and constructive partnership towards the advancement of Benue State.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, represented by the Deputy Governor Sam Ode, emphasized that 60 years mark is a call to reflect on memories, lessons, trials, and successes of life.
My administration remains committed to press freedom, to transparency, and to maintaining open channels of communication with the media.
The celebrant thanked the NUJ for the honor done him, insisting that he will always partner the media as custodians of public memory, watchdogs of the society, and the bridge between government and the people. In Makudi, Elias Itiaf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Benue State government will continue to synergize with security formations and community stakeholders in sharing intelligence and strengthening security architecture to combat contemporary security challenges. Governor Hyacinth Alia gave the assurance when he hosted the delegation of the armed forces of the Staff College Jaji and a study tour to the state. Elias Itiaf again reports.
The Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji is a trans-service institution responsible for training Nigerian military officers, those from sister nations, and members of ministries, departments, and agencies. 61-member delegation is in Benue State on an environmental assessment Nigerian study tour 2026 to enable participants to integrate their theoretical knowledge and practical realities. Governor Hyacinth Alia, represented by the Deputy Governor Sam Ode, commended the college for sustaining programs aimed at deepening national security consciousness and strengthening participatory governance, while insisting that security of lives and property is no longer the exclusive responsibility of security agencies. The Deputy Governor emphasized that the present administration remains committed to policies and programs that will promote peace building, rural engagement, and stronger cooperation with security agencies operating within the state.
I believe, and strongly so too, that the outcome of your engagements and research will contribute significantly to national discourse, policy formulation on security management, and conflict resolution.
The theme for this year's study tour is promoting community engagements for enhanced national security, which advocates support for security agencies and governments in enhancing effectiveness in the system. In Makudi, Elias Itiaf, NTA News.
That report rounds off our contribution from Makudi. Chinenye, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Charles. And that is nationwide for today. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I'm Chinenye. Do enjoy the rest of our programs on the NTA.